Well, good evening, race fans, and welcome out to the virtual Iowa Speedway for championship night for the ASRC Super Late Model Invitational presented by Sunoco. As always, it is Upstate Al bringing you all of tonight's racing action, and we've dragged from Tennessee Mr. Racing Jason Dobbs. And Jason, I have a star-studded field. They're getting ready to do their heat race action as they roll down here through turns 3 and 4, and we are going to get this one underway. But championship night here for the ASRC Super Late Model Invitational Series.
Oh, here we go. Green boogity, boogity, boogity. Yeah, we're racing.
Heat race is going to be a matter of time here this afternoon. 8 minutes is the distance, and it is Brett Hahn jumping out to the early race lead here. So they work down the backstretch for the first time. A good battle for that number 2 position right there. That is Nick Fleury and the 88 of Chuck Darling. I ran a race here just about 2 weeks ago in the late model stock cars, and I can tell you that they were a lot of fun. We're going to see multiple lanes here. The outside lane going to come in along with that bottom, and a little bit extra horsepower here this afternoon with that super late model. You got to keep those tires happy as we see that battle for the number 2 spot between Fleury and Hahn as they work down here into turn number 1.
Yeah, they're side by side. They're still side by side, the 13 and the 18. Also, Coyer and McDonald, they're side by side. So a lot of room to race on at this racetrack, and a lot of grooves out. It's going to be a good night for some racing.
They are working there as well as I'm going to slide you a little note there across the booth there for you, Dobbs. There you go, buddy. As they work down here in the turn number 1. Brett Hahn showing the way out in the front of this one. Set fast time in the time trial session. Charles Darling back there in spot number 2 has sole possession of that. And now the driver from Newfoundland taking a look. He's getting a little bit of rowdy down on the inside with that Rowdy energy drink, number 18. That is the number 18 of Devin McDonald. He's got DeWeese to the outside of him in that Interstate Ford Mustang.
Yeah, he's really got that Mustang wound up, and I'm real impressed. Now these drivers already starting to pace themselves out right here, Al. It's the track's going to be real hot and sticky, and I just wonder if tire wear is going to be a key as we get running on more and more laps as the rubber builds up on this racetrack.
It's definitely going to, this track, very abrasive to these Hoosier racing tires. You can definitely wear out that right front fairly quick, but right now, 8 minutes, a good little practice session. That's what I would call it here this afternoon, because the race 100 laps in distance, as you see DeWeese and the 18 bouncing off each other. Trading a little bit of paint, that never hurt anybody. But you got 100 laps here in tonight's main event for the season finale, as we will crown a champion this evening as they work down here into turns 1 and 2. And you can definitely see how these cars are starting to move around here. Andrew Harding's down in the pits in car number 45 as we take a look at the number 2 of John DeMeester. You see the right front beat up on that number 2 car with the mics on the hood there, the Boardwalk subs, for the Telerica Boardwalk subs, as he gets the outside fence once again. As they start to figure this out, we got good battles. You see the 7-Eleven of Eric Hahn, Devin McDonald racing with, how about Andrew Payne? Last time we saw Andrew Payne in action was a photo finish between himself and the Jet at the Bristol Motor Speedway earlier on this season. And if you missed that race, and these guys are going to be off for a few weeks, go back and take a look at that race and watch the ending of that. That was an exciting one. So good to see Andrew Payne back in the field as he races there behind the number 49 of Braden Cook.
Well, I'd like to see that one, Al. You know I love Bristol, Tennessee, and home track for me. And to see that photo finish would have been epic to see. You know, I was watching a little bit earlier there, you was giving us some great info of the racers here. I was watching the 18 car McDonald. He got a little loose coming off the corner, and he lost a bunch of positions. And, that's what I was thinking about, these tires being hot and sticky. But that's something that's going to be real interesting when this feature time comes around.
Yeah, and you can see the sun already on the west side of the racetrack, so I assume that we will get closer to underneath the lights here. And they always say nighttime is the right time to race, but I like Iowa Speedway out here when it gets hot and slick. It makes you have to chase that grip in this worn-out racing surface, and this track always provides great racing, as we see Fleury and Darling mixing it up here for spot number 2, and they've brought Cold Beer Coyer at 13 at Tegrity's Farm. Number 13, Zach Coyer. He's in the fray right here, looking for a podium here in heat race action.
You look at them side by side down the straightaway, side by side going into one right here at Iowa. You wouldn't think there's that much room of, multiple groups to race here, but Iowa makes good racing, real and virtual, and still side by side. And Coyer is just trying to bide his time to, pick a lane to follow, but you got to watch out for this 8 car up Braxton DeWeese. We've seen him, Al, sorry about called you Roger, my bad. He's coming to try to play the game with him.
He definitely is, and that 8 car shown speed, pardon me, sorry about that, as they work down here in the corner. They're all chasing at number 71, and DeWeese closing in on that battle. As he's up in that 3rd lane, he might have found some speed up there, keeping that momentum wound up on that Ford Mustang.
Yeah, he's really got good line going, and then the 93 of Andrew Payne, he's worked his way up there in the mix also, as those guys were side by side. And now the 25 of Fleury, he's going to try to pull away about 4 or 5 car lengths, as the other 2 of 88 of Charles Darling, and also that's the 13 car Coyer. They're going to run side by side now, Al.
Yeah, Coyer taking a bid to the inside, and he's going to take that 3rd spot away. Here comes the 8 of DeWeese, and here comes the high-flying Andrew Payne. He's going to try to be a needle in someone's side here. So he works to the outside. Payne running a limited schedule this season with the ASRC Super Late Model Invitational presented by Sunoco. You stopped at Sunoco on the way here, filled up the truck, didn't you, Dobbs?
I did. Well, Al, I filled up the the EcoBoost Mustang. I filled it up. It was a long haul up here from Tennessee, but we got up here fine. Got our luggage and everything. Got one of those Talarico subs. Those were amazing. And I got a Colt Sprite with me also tonight, so I'm prepared for this race, Al.
Yeah, you are pumped up like a cocked pheasant.
Absolutely. You know what, Al, I was thinking? I was kind of like you the other night at the at your little RC race, only not with the bad luck there in the A main. I hated to see that, and I was pulling for you, buddy, but bad luck happens sometimes.
It does. We hope nothing bad happens to these drivers out here tonight. As we see Andrew Harding's back on pit road, so he's having some issues with that car. Hopefully we'll get it straightened out here as we're about 1 lap left to go. They're going to come across the stripe, I believe, this time by. Get the white flag is Brett Hahn 2 seconds out in front. Here's a work down here in the turns 1 and 2, and I know a little bit lighter of a car count for a season finale than Tanner would like, but we got to thank Tanner for all he's done all season long for these drivers and putting on great shows. I mean, it's definitely quality over quantity, that for sure, here in the ASRC Super Late Model Invitational Series, and you have to be invited to be here, and they just started up a brand new series as the white flag comes out. Final trip around the speedway. Or that is it, actually, so I don't know what I'm talking about, per usual. Is the 71 of Brett Hahn will pick up the win. But they start, their series for drivers that want to get into this invitational series. You can do so. Look up the American Sim Racing Club on Facebook. See how you can become a member today. Well, they're going to sit there for a moment. We got some people to thank here for the ASRC's Super Late Model Invitational Series presented by Sunoco. Talarico's Boardwalk Subs, Jersey-style soup, subs, and salads serving West Michigan. Premier Racing Setups, setting up all these cars so they can be out here putting on a good show for you each and every week. Premier Racing Setups. And how about LaPlante Racing Products, the proud sponsor of the Triple Crown Series here this evening, as the warm-up session heads out there. These drivers get a final chance to shake down their race cars. And as they do that, we're going to step aside real quick. We'll be right back here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. You're watching the ASRC Super Late Model Invitational Series presented by Sunoco.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Son. The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back here to the Iowa Speedway for the final round. Tonight we will crown a champion here this evening, and I'm alongside my good buddy Racing Jason. And Jason, they come in here tonight, Brett Hahn with 545 points, leading over Nick Fleury with 482. Ron Hart right there close behind in the third spot in car number 51. Fourth is Zach Hoyer and Chuck Darling rounding out your top 5 in the point standings. And the field starting to get situated down on pit road. And that will mean we'll give you tonight's starting lineup. 11 cars, 100 laps is the distance. Let's take a look at how they will start. Starting on the pole, car number 71 is Brett the Jet. Brett Hahn will start on tonight's pole. Outside of him, the number 25, this is Nick Fleury. Andrew Payne in car number 93 will roll off in the third spot, and outside of him, car number 13, the All-Star Racing Integrity Farms number 13, this is Zach Hoyer. Braxton DeWeese in car number 8 will roll off in the fifth spot, and outside of him, on the outside of row number 3, this is the 88 of Charles Darling. Devin McDonald out of Newfoundland will roll off in the 7th spot, and outside of him, the driver from Michigan, car number 49, this is Braden Cook. The underfunded Motorworks, car number 711 of Eric Kahn will roll off 9th. In your 10th starting spot, the number 2 of John DeMeester. And scheduled to go shotgun on the field, car number 45, that is Andrew Hardings. That is your 11-car field, Dobbs, as they roll by here, getting the one flag to go here this evening. Braxton Deweese going to have to come from the tail of the field here. Not a big penalty on championship night as he picked up the win the last time we saw these guys race just 2 weeks ago. It doesn't seem like it's been that long ago. But Deweese a winner here this season. Going to have to start 11th on tonight's field as they will go green flag racing. Brett Hahn and Nick Fleury, your top two, and top two in points headed into tonight's main event.
Boy, it's going to be interesting now when they fire these B8 hot rods up. I got a little chills on the back of my neck here as we get ready to go racing. I'm excited to watch Braxton come to the front. He's got some fans out there in chat, so we're getting ready to go. Here we go, Al. You ready? Let's go racing, boys.
On the loud pedal, you see the front end of the cars get up there, and they will suck right down to the asphalt here at this racetrack as they roll through turns 1 and 2 for the first time. Getting up the full song, and it is Fleury chasing Brett Hahn, Andrew Payne into that number 3 position. As they roll down here through turns 3 and 4 for the first time, putting lap number 1 into the books. And you can see them already dicing it up back here. Now, here's the question. Who will wear out their tires? It's going to take about 45 seconds to change 4 tires here this evening. And do you come down pit road? We're going to see some tire conservation come into play, I believe, here in tonight's main event, because 100 laps seems like a long time. Is not, but these tires will scream really, really loud if you over-abuse them early on in this one.
Yeah, they're going to be sticky too, you know, real slick as these laps go down. And man, it'd be cool to see some green flag pit stops, Al. I don't think we've seen that all year. And you know, this time the heat race, Hahn was really, really fast. He checked out from everybody, but Nick Fleury in that 25 car, he's telling Brett the Jet Hahn, he said, "Hey, old buddy, not right now. I'm going to be riding on your hind end, and I'm going to try to get a move and make a move and take the lead here."
He takes a look to the inside there. Nothing doing that time as he takes and tries to make a move. Andrew Payne right there as well in that black, gold, and white entry. And you can't ever count out Zach Coyer. He is one of the guys that runs a lot of short track racing. And you gotta find them here as they work there, as we've got a lot of the Deweese Racing fans out there. As always, we thank you guys for being a part of there. And Braxton already up 2 spots as he's closing in on that 7-11 of Eric Kahn, and he's racing with Braden Cook. We've got Chris and Doug and Dennis out there. We thank you guys for tuning on in. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Let these drivers know you appreciate their efforts all season long here this evening. That's all those thumbs up are for. Let these drivers know that you guys appreciate them as we watch Eric Hahn go right underneath them. Oh, a little bit sideways, 3 wide off of turn number 4.
These guys in the back, towards the back, they're really battling hard. They're going to wear their tires out early, Al. And, you know, Deweese got to be real patient, working his way back to the front after starting in the back. He's got to be real calm not to burn his stuff up. But I tell you, these guys has really felt something different this race than they did in the heat race, because Brett the Jet was really pulling away, or maybe Brett was kind of doing like Ryan Blaney and Christopher Bell in the Daytona 500, only going 65% throttle, and kind of slowed everybody down. Now that may be Brett the Jet may be playing with cat and mouse here at leading the race.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it already early on, and we're already quickly put lap number 8 down into the books. Is you gotta manage those tires, you gotta manage the throttle. You don't want to you see the exhaust flames coming out here, and as the fuel rolls into the hot there, shooting out those flames. Always a cool little thing to see here, and you're gonna see that as the sun continues to go down, and that grip level is gonna come up into this racetrack, and these drivers just minding their P's and Q's right now. Already 9 laps in, working lap number 10. Car's going to start to transition. The heat and the tires are going to start to be there. As you see Fleury get up the racetrack, almost in trouble right there.
Yeah, he did. He's running a little higher line than Brett the Jet there. Especially right here coming out the 4. You watch him, he goes high. Now watch Andrew Payne do the same thing. Tries to get that run down the front straightaway. Kind of a, you know, this track reminds me a little bit of Richmond, somewhere like that. Maybe a little more higher banked, I guess. But I like the line that he's running, but I tell you what, Andrew Payne lost a little time there in the 18 of McDonald and the 88 of a Darling. They're right there also, you know. They're one move makes a wrong move, and those guys are going to pounce.
Yeah, your top 6 really underneath a blanket nose to tail here. Back a little bit deeper. Eric Hahn working with Braxton Deweeses. These guys battle it out for the 7th position, and they are already 2, almost 3 seconds behind your race leader. And it's early on. Saving these tires is going to be big. I'm telling you, Dobbs, this race has the potential to go green to checkered, and it's going to be a matter of saving those tires, not pushing too hard, so just kind of not squealing those tires, not really grinding. You see the 8 just kind of running that high line, not putting a lot of wheel into that race car right now, and that's going to save those tires, and it might come into play a little bit later on in this one.
Yeah, and Deweese, he's already up. What is he up, 2 positions?
He's going to be up 4 positions, started back in the
4
11th
positions,
spot.
okay.
So
He's really working his way around Hahn now, and he's going to try to get somewhere, but better save those tires, like you said, Al.
And now he's right back down to the bottom, painting that yellow line. But as we go back up front, top 3 cars, nose to tail. You got Zach Coyer right there as well. The 18 of Devin McDonald and Chuck Darling battling it out. And as they work here through turns 3 and 4, Andrew Payne up the racetrack. The 13 of Zach Coyer.
Yeah, Payne got real tight coming off turn 4 there. I thought he was going to smack the wall. Just give a little kiss. And now he's going to try to get a run right here on the back straightaway on the inside of Fleury. Trying to make a move side by side. Just going to be interesting right here.
Definitely going to be a little bit interesting as they work here off of turn number 4. Fleury on the outside. Andrew Payne digging down low, looking for the gold. The Iowa corn stalks down on the inside as they come up off the corner. And the guy that's stalking both of them is the 13 of Coyer, and he takes a bid to the outside. Not able to put the cards down on the table right there and get around the 93 of Payne, but Zach Coyer looking very sporty early on in this one, but Brett Hahn starting to open it up as these guys battle it out for second.
Yeah, his spotter's probably telling him if those cars are getting smaller, you just drive a clean race like you always do, and just hit your marks. And Payne is really trying everything he can to get around Fleury. And like you said, the 13 car of Zach Coyer, he's just waiting. But, I mean, when does Payne throw that slide job in there? And what a move there. Fleury went to the bottom, and Payne went to the outside, try to get a run. This is pretty interesting right here. We're 20 laps in almost, so these guys are starting to get a little racy.
And these guys are really running. Now we got Andrew Payne way up in that 4th lane, trying to get some speed out of that number 93. Can't quite get it there just yet, but now look at the momentum on the outside. He's got that 93 rolling the outside, has to back out of it as Fleury's car got a little bit tight on it off of exit. Payne throws it in deep one more time through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, he's going to be real tight right here. Oh, man, I thought it was going to be tighter than what it looked like coming off that corner. And Payne's got a good run on the outside, but Fleury, though, just kind of needs to let him go right here. You know, you're still a long ways away in this race. Kind of save your tires. And I think I don't know if that would be smart or not, but Payne wants to set his sights on Hahn now.
Yeah, right now they are almost 1 second behind the 71 of Brent the Jet as they work there. And then about another. So these guys really out there just hitting their marks, and like we talked about, Brett not looking in that mirror, knowing that there's not a lot of traffic or a lot of pressure from behind as of yet. And as I say that, Andrew Payne is already starting to cut into that race lead. Is now the 25 of Fleury under attack from the Integrity Farms number 13 of Zach Coyer.
Yeah, and as those guys were racing, I watched the 45 car, Andrew Harding's. I'm getting reports that he had electrical issues on the car, so they parked it for the night. That's a bummer for him. He was running towards the, back there in the back and had some electrical issues on the race car. So That's not good for championship night, but
No,
it's a heartbreak for him.
it definitely is. And Harding's one of those drivers that have had, I will call it a dismal season here. A lot of bad luck, and hopefully we'll turn that around in the upcoming new season that you'll be able to see right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We'll get those dates and everything populated on our Facebook page. Make sure you give our Facebook page a like. Make sure you subscribe to our channel right here. You get notification every time ASRC goes live, along with all of the other family of leagues that we broadcast, whether it's from the high banks of Daytona to the little dirt tracks that some leagues run, and all in between there. So we have a little bit of everything for all your racing enthusiasts right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, and you get notification as that left front dragon on the 13, taking a look underneath the 25 of Fleury. Can't quite do anything with him that time.
Yeah, and I saw some tire smoke right there too, Al, in turn 4. I don't know if you caught that or not, but I was trying to find it, but I don't see it anywhere. As McDonald and Darling, the 18 and the 80 acre, battling Coyer on the inside of Fleury right here. Guys, starting to get a little dicey. We're almost 30 laps in, so I want to see a pit stop, Al. I'm kind of excited.
You think you're gonna get someone that's gonna come down and roll the dice with that?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much. Can they go all the way on fuel? I really doesn't.
That is one thing that we did not get in the notes. I'm going to assume that they can.
Okay. See, I wasn't here for the drivers' meeting. We were still on our way up here. The 13, here he comes on the inside. That's Coyer on the inside of Fleury. He got sideways. He's loose.
Unable to put that 800 horsepower down that these super late models have, and he's going to lose some ground to Nick Fleury. As now Brett Hahn opening it back up to about 0.8 of a second over Andrew Payne. And you got to wonder, Payne got to that number 2 spot. Is he just kind of riding, saving the tires as he sits there behind watching that 71, maybe going to school right now?
Yeah, that's honestly a good idea for him. Just kind of sit back and watch a line or two and watch what Hahn's doing, because, make a run later on this race as we get halfway and then so on. But, Payne is also running real high. I think he's running the highest line on the racetrack. And I think that's paying off.
But definitely is. Now you look out the backside of Brett Hahn, and you can see the battle back there for the 3rd position, or the 4th position, is Zach Coyer under attack from Devin McDonald. And as that battle rages on, they're going to come off number 4, door to door. And McDonald having a nice, quiet, easy night so far early on in this one, as we already closing in on the halfway point.
Yeah, and then the fan favorite out there right now, Braxton DeWeese. Don't count him out just yet. He's starting to work his way up on the back end of Charles Darling. I see him back there in the picture. He's starting to close in a little bit more and more. So as these guys battle it out, he's going to be moving on up toward the front here.
Yeah, and that's the trouble with being on such a big track. You see what's going on in front of you. You want to get there, but you also can't really push that race car past that limit. He had the shotgun rule. Had to start at the tail of the field here this evening from picking up the last week's win. And now it's trying to work his way towards the front of this field, and he is just about a second now off of the 6th place running car. And he catches them. This track, a big 3/4 of a mile racetrack, there is a draft that comes into play.
Yeah. Especially if you got 800 horses in these bad boys. I tell you what, that's a lot of horsepower. But I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going. DeWeese, I think, hit the wall right there, going into turn 1. Not really for sure. I think I saw some sparks fly. I hope the car's all right. But later on this race, these guys are going to start pushing a little bit harder out. They may be a caution to bunch everybody back up.
Yeah, it looks like the car seems to be okay from our vantage point that we have here as we take a look at it. Don't see any scrapes on that Ford Mustang. We know the Fords can take a beating. They're built Ford tough.
Oh, absolutely. I have 2 of them, Al, and my right foot gets in them all the time. And They do all right. Oh, look here, we got the 2 car now of John the Minister. He's a little lap traffic. Is he sideways as these cars come out to lap him? He done a good job staying out of the way, but that got a little hairy for a minute.
He definitely did. And those 4 cars really battling. You got Nick Fleury, Devin McDonald, Zach Coyer, and the 88 of Charles Darling as they battle. And you're going to have soon enough in this battle the number 8 of Braxton DeWeese, as you can see him right there on the right side of your screen, closing in on this battle.
This is some good racing now. I'm so glad you asked me to join up with these broadcasts, because these guys have put on one heck of a show for the last 3 weeks that I've been here. I like watching them go around the racetrack, and we're about to have 5 cars right here underneath the blanket as the 18 of McDonald is on that 25's back bumper. Oh, and he hits the wall. Here we go. Here we go. Big wreck.
Devin McDonald around, and the Tallarico Boardwalk sub yellow flag going to come out. And there goes the rule, or I will say not the rule, but there goes what strategy might or might have not as we close in with 40 laps in. I'm assuming everybody will come down pit road at this point, take fuel if they need it, and maybe change those tires as the pace truck rolls out onto the back stretch. Is Brett Hahn will be the first one to catch it. It just monster trucked him.
Yeah, he just hit that wall. He got real tight. I think he lost his nose there on the back bumper of Fleury, and just it got tight. And when they're bunched up like that, you really got nowhere to go. And it's kind of like rush hour traffic. You know, when a guy hits the brakes in front of you, you can't tell. It's gonna be a little bumper tag going on. I don't know how bad the car's hurt, but hopefully he can get it repaired and he can get back out there.
Pit lane gonna be open this time, and oh, everybody but the race leader coming down pit road. Oh boy, look at this one being led by 93 of Andrew Payne.
That was a bold move there, Cotton.
Yeah, as John DeMeester will get the free pass as everyone else will come down pit road.
And the officials right now, Al, I'm being told, are looking to see if he hit that commitment line, Brett the Jet Hahn. And remember, 2 tires hit that. That's a no-go, Al. That's the commissioners are looking at that right now, I'm getting told.
Yeah, and fuel only for Andrew Payne. Nick Fleury taking his 4 tires. Everyone else down on pit road working on that as well. And this is kind of help out the number 8 of DeWeese, as we saw him closing in on that battle. So he will roll out there. But now Brett Hahn going to come down pit road. Andrew Payne coming back down as well. And John DeMeester. So a little bit of strategy slash maybe a wrong call for the 71, and now is coming down pit road.
I mean, I don't know. Everybody else, well, look here, he's going to come down pit road. Is he? I mean, maybe the officials took a look at it, Al. I'm not really for sure. We haven't got the official word yet or not, but
he overshot the pit exit entrance as well. Looks like, seeing if any of the tires car goes up, it looks like maybe just fuel at this point. Just fuel for the 71 here. So let's take a look and see what happened to bring out this yellow flag. You can see they're racing off of turn number 4, the 18. Like you said, just lost the nose, it looks like, and into the outside retaining wall hard. Off the nose of the 13 of Zach Coyer, and Coyer nowhere really to go.
No, he was a sitting duck, and when that happens, you're in a bad spot. And, you know, he picked the 18 car up off the ground, and it's a tough break for McDonald and Coyer there. And I hope the guys can get the cars fixed back. Those guys are having a good running. And I don't know what's going on with Brett the Jet Hahn, but he's having some rookie mistakes out there, Al.
He definitely is, and we'll go from there. But take a look back here and see what's going on.
You know, Al, in my opinion right there, McDonald got on the gas a little harder. And like we said, he lost the nose and Coyer had nowhere to go. So, you know, I mean, you're strapped in an 800 horsepower race car trying to go forward. Mistakes like that happen, and I hate to see it like that. I hate to see a good car get ruined early on this race, but, you know, you got to push because Brett the Jet and Andrew Payne, they were checking out from these guys.
Definitely. Well, we're going to step away real quick. We'll be right back here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And welcome back. We're back here. We're with live photos of what's going on the racetrack. Lined up side by side. Nick Fleury and Charles Darling up at the front of this one as that Tallarico Boardwalk sub about to slide down the gullet and into the safe haven of the, I call it the Birdwatch Tower, but the flag tower here as they work into the green flag zone presented by Sunoco. And we are back underway. Nick Fleury jumping on that loud pedal first.
Yeah, boy, these cars come to life. I love when they scream down the front straightaway. And Fleury got a little loose right there, Al. And here comes Braxton DeWeese. That might be the chat favorite right out here tonight. And here he comes. He's going to try to make a move to the lead, I believe.
Yeah, right now, and we know that those drivers have taken tires. The 93 and the 71 not taking tires, as we've got another Tallarico Boardwalk sub-yellow flag as Eric Hahn has gone around almost in the same fashion as the 18 of McDonald did. And the underfunded Motorsports number 711 of Hahn able to roll away here, but that car might have a little bit of right front damage. Looks like on that race car, rolling slow on the infield.
Tough break for Eric Hahn there.
And it looks like that car going to stay out onto the racetrack. So it is Nick Fleury up at the point. Braxton Luis with the strategy call into the number 2 spot. Chuck Darling third. Braden Cook, this driver here, that number 49, having some trouble this season, but has found some speed as of late. Finds himself sitting in the 4th spot. 5th spot, the 71 of Hahn. The 13, the crew, I tell you, they were down on pit road for a little bit of time down there. In this track, with under these pace laps, you're able to get a lot of work done. You can see that the front of that car does not look damaged at all, so able to do a nice job with that.
These drivers now, you know, they seen one car hit the wall, now you got another car hit the wall, and you got to be thinking inside their helmets, inside these race cars, are they thinking, am I going to push up and hit the wall? We're almost halfway into this race, and intensity's going to pick up just a little bit more and more, and you want to try to push your car a little more and more each lap, and disaster may strike at any time.
Yeah, Devin McDonald down on the pit road getting some damage fixed. Still on the lead lap back there in the 10th position. As you said, the electrical issues on the 45 of Hardings has led that driver to be sidelined for the remainder of the night, it looks like. So a tough break for the 45 of Hardings as lights are out atop of the pace car. We're going to go back green flag racing just at the halfway point. 50 are in, 50 laps to go when the green flag comes back out.
Well, it's going to be real interesting. We went halfway already, and seen a lot of things happen real fast. You know, Brett the Jet was checked out, and he was setting sail, trying to find victory lane once again in his career. The yellow came out. Now you got Fleury and Braxton here, who was started shotgun to the field. He's running P2 right now.
They definitely are. you got to wonder, the 71 and the 93 not taking tires. That's kind of a bold strategy, I feel. Maybe, see how this one shakes out.
Maybe they're maybe they're just saving tires to the end as we're back underway, and Flurry checks out by a car length and a half. DeWeese runs second. The 49 of Braden Cook, like I said earlier, I hadn't said his name much, but he's up there in the mix now. Side by side for Darling and Coyer coming off of turn 4.
And those drivers there working and being told in the ear that they might have taken tires. I didn't see the cars go up, but who knows? We're not down on pit road, and, you see the 93 there take a hard right-hand turn in front of the 71 of Brett Hahn. Is they all there? Side-by-side battle for your race lead. Braxton DeWeese down low, trying to dig that forward underneath the number 25 of Nick Fleury. He's got the nose out front on entry, but here comes Fleury rolling the outside.
Here they come side by side down the back straightaway. This is what the fans came to see, the millions of fans. Checks up just a little bit side by side. Payne's running a real high line up there on the outside, trying to get a run here. For 4th, we got action all over the racetrack, folks. This is getting exciting.
Yeah, Iowa Speedway, never a disappointment. Love this place. Putting on a great show as Cook battling the 13 is now DeWeese down low to the inside once again. The 25 really unable to keep that car low off of turn number 2.
Yeah, he can't keep that thing down there. And we're going to come side by side. The 8 car's going to get real tight. Flurry's going to get tight. It's going to be some great racing going into turn 1. DeWeese with a little bit of advantage. I don't know what the 25 is going to have enough momentum here or not. Can DeWeese maybe pull a slide job going into 3 right here?
25 of Fleury with the momentum on the outside. He'll pull back even. Down low is the 8 of DeWeese as these drivers really battling hard, allowing the 13 of Coyer to roll back in on this one as they are side by side back there for the 4th spot as we watch the battle for the race lead.
This is a great battle right here. And Al, I'm trying to watch the leaders, but I just can't help watching that 93 of Andrew Payne, Cook, and Darling. They are running 3 wide down here in 3 and 4. Payne goes way up there on the racetrack where nobody's been all night long, and he's trying to make a move. Now he jumped to the bottom. Here they come again, and this is some great racing.
Yeah, great racing here around the racetrack, and now it's a 3-car horse battle. Up at the front as the 13 of Coyer takes a bid to the inside. Can't quite make anything happen there as they both got Darling and the 93 of Payne, who's back to the outside up off of turn number 4.
Watch that 8 Ford Mustang slideways coming off of turn 4. Now right here, these 2 up front are running hard. So are you burning your tires or your core? You're going to sit back and try to save some in case these 2 burn their stuff up and make a move and get by both of them. Here comes a slide job by DeWeese. Didn't pull it off all the way.
Not quite cleared off of turn number 4. Just about hanging on that right quarter panel is the 25 of Fleury. They are still stacked up 2 by 2. Here comes Andrew Payne. He says, I want a shot at Darling. He's using the extreme high side of the racetrack. He'll take that 4th spot away. Andrew Payne starting to make some moves up in that 3rd and 4th lane. Nobody else is up there.
No, and as our colleague, Mr. Roger Muth, always says, the Kyle Larson line. We all know Roger loves Kyle Larson, and a lot of people like Kyle Larson. He can really hang a car out there, and he runs where nobody does. He kind of like Dale Jr. back in the day, runs super high, and that's where Andrew Payne's running, that Kyle Larson run, and making moves.
He's definitely making some moves as they come up off the corner. He's going to take that 3rd spot away from the 13 of Zach Coyer. Coyer going to follow right in his tire tracks, a little bit lower though, down where that darker concrete or asphalt, that's where the rubber's being laid in. Payne running above that most of the time. Now he sucks it back down, trying to get a run on the 25 of Nick Fleury.
Yeah, and if I'm a spotter for the 25 or the 8 car, I'm telling both those drivers, move up if you can and try to run the line Payne's running, because he's making some headway coming towards the front. And I just, maybe try to get the air off his nose and kind of slow him down a little bit. Now, if I was a spotter, that would be my honest thing to do right there for my driver.
Braxton DeWeese out in the front of this one, just got the clean air. Oh, as the 13 kisses the outside wall, Coyer Everyone has to check up. Is now Braden Cook going to feel the pressure from your current points high man, the 71 of Brett Hahn? Came in, I believe, had the championship fairly locked up, but I believe there's some drops and some other calculation factors that will go into play. With that coming up here a little bit, this one's, I don't want this one to end.
No, me neither, you know, and this is good racing, and usually, I mean, just for my instance of being a race car fan, when a race goes green, I'm not a fan of it because it gets single filed out and it kind of gets boring, and I take my afternoon Sunday nap. But these boys right here on a Wednesday night are battling side by side, putting everything on the line. Championship night. Who cares if you wreck a race car? You can build it back in the winter.
Absolutely, and these guys got some time off after tonight before the next Invitational Series will kick off.
Here they come side by side, Darling and Flurry. Now they're side by side, and Coyer with that beat up race car. Well, I thought there was going to be a little contact there, but he's probably got some downforce issues on that right front. That's really going to be interesting when he goes and throws that car off in the corner. Will it stick or will it get loose with him? And it looks like it's going to hold. Oh, I don't know. He's loose. He's a little loose now.
And he got a little bit loose that time off the corner, and it's allowed Flurry to get on that fourth spot. Is the 13 of Coyer back to fifth. Brett Hahn just kind of hanging out back there, not able really to make too much moves, or maybe just kind of playing it easy right now. But that seventh position, and gotta wonder, like I said, I don't believe he took tires at all. Gotta wonder if that's starting to play a factor here in the later goings of this race.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm watching a little farther back. You know, the 7-11 or the 7-1 double one there, I guess you could say, Eric Hahn and John the Mister and the two. They're having a pretty good little battle back here in the back. You know, they missed a setup or something this afternoon, but that's all right. They're still going to battle. They're going to run 100 laps, and maybe something happened to the leaders and they have a shot later on this race, but they're actually putting a pretty good little show on back here.
They certainly are as they work through this corner. The number 2 of Demeester taking a look down to the inside. Can't do anything with him, but I tell you, Braxton DeWeese, he's got some company starting to reel him in, and that's the form of that black and gold number 93 of Andrew Payne as we go on board with him. Sitting there trying to go, the driver out of Fair Oaks, California. The Payne train coming towards the front, and he closes right in on the backside of that interstate number 8, the Ford of Braxton DeWeese.
Yeah, and he's kind of changed his line also. I don't understand what's going on there, and he's a little bit faster than DeWeese is, I believe, coming in the corner. DeWeese pulls away coming out of the corner. So maybe Payne's just trying to figure some stuff out. As we say that, he goes back just a little bit higher, not too high as he's running, and trying to get a run off turn 4 right here. Both of them sideways.
And they come across the very sideways. Payne starting there as you see the battle a little bit deeper back there is Flurry and Cooker side by side. That's allowed the 71 of Hahn to close in on that battle. Maybe it says it is time to go as we close in 30 laps, make it 29 laps to go that time at the stripe.
I'll tell you what, these laps went down pretty quick here at Iowa Speedway. Really wouldn't think about it. They have clicked and clicked and clicked, and Payne that time running the line, going to run on the bottom up. He stayed the outside. That outside line has been the place for Andrew Payne so far, and this is going to be tight right here.
Braxton Louise trying to come up and squeeze play him. He will take that line away. Now leaves it open as they enter turn number 1 and 2. As you see the fast laps of the race, the fastest car set this afternoon was the 13 of Zach Coyer at a 23.15 as Andrew Payne rolls the outside off the corner. Will we have a new race leader at the line? Payne just by a nose bumper at the line. Andrew Payne, your new race leader.
And he picked that spot up on the outside like we've been talking about in the last 10-15 laps. And now Charles Darling, can he maybe take some notes down from where Payne's running and go in and get and get Payne now as DeWeese goes back to third. So now, I mean, these cars are just sideways coming off of turn 4, and they're hanging on to it. That's real impressive driving right there.
Yeah, and now Payne right back to the bottom. Charles Darling, though, mirror driving the line of the car in front of him. Letting a little bit loose off the corner. See him doing a little chicane driving down the backstretch. But the 88 of Darling up to that number 2 spot. 25 laps to go here for the hometown Sunoco.
Yeah, this is some really good action. It's going to get real picked up right here with about 20 to go. I honestly think Darling is just a tad bit faster than Payne right here in 3 and 4. Payne is real sideways coming off the corner. And I think Darling may have saved his stuff. He may have a shot at taking the race lead.
Charles Darling taking a peek out to the outside now, using the line that Andrew Payne used. Payne now slides up the racetrack, sideways, kisses the outside wall. Charles Darling down to the inside. Can he make something happen on the 93 of Payne through turns 3 and 4?
I tell you, Payne is just, I don't know if he's just missed a setup or what, or that he's burnt the right rear up, but that thing is just wicked loose coming off the corner. And now Darling's trying to make a move, and Braxton DeWeese, he's saying, hey, I'm not out of it just yet. I'm sitting here running third. Maybe the 93 will kiss the fence a little bit and make a little contact with 88, and I may jump up back towards the front.
That is always a possibility when you got close quarter racing like you do right now. The top 3 cars really breaking away from the rest of the field over Coyer, Cook, and Hahn. And that's the battle behind him. And I tell you, Brett Hahn's car not looking very happy. You just saw a glimpse of it on that corner shot. He was a little bit sideways. If we take a look at Brett Hahn, gotta wonder, taking those old tires that are on that race car, they might start to take and give up the ghost here.
Yeah, you know, and that goes back to the late 90s, early 2000s to me, Al. You know, there was a certain car, 24 DuPont Chevrolet. Every time he was out front, you couldn't catch him. And then once he got in traffic, the car just went to junk. Maybe Brett the Jet's having some of that problem like old Jeff Gordon did back in the day. I'm not comparing him to Jeff Gordon. I'm just saying I've heard that same situation before back in my day watching NASCAR and stuff. And once that car got in dirty air, it just wasn't the same.
Yeah, it definitely could possibly be that way. Is now the 88 of Darling going to take a look down to the inside of Andrew Payne. Nothing doing. There's your top 3 cars. About car length apart from each other with 19 laps to go. They are doing a good job. How about an old-fashioned crank it up, Dobbs?
Oh, I've been waiting for this, Al.
All right, let's crank it up. Nothing better than a crank it up here as the cars blast by you. Ooh, nothing like that. Having those cars run over those cameras. Thank God they're expensive cameras.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of the old little digger there on Fox back in the day, Al. You know, that right there gets a guy like me pumped up. You know, seeing them action shots. Those are some cool-looking shots. And these race cars sound awesome. As we get ready to go into less than 15 to go, and Andrew Payne's he's starting to just pull away little by little. I thought that maybe Darling had a shot at him, and I don't know if he burned his stuff up or what, but it's going to be interesting as we get 10 laps or less to go here.
Definitely will, as we watch the battle for the 5th spot. Brett Hahn right in front of his championship, I'll say boxing partner. It's right there behind him, the 25 of Nick Fleury, as they both sit there 6 and 7. Payne just trophy hunting. Out here came to get the nice trophy here at Iowa Speedway. Charles Darling trying to work there as well. as they work down here through turns 3 and 4. Or that's 1 and 2 now.
Yeah, he's trophy hunting, and he's going to have bragging rights for the end of the year, for the rest of the season, saying I was winning the last race of the season, and I put that in his shop if he can pull through right here with less than 12 to go. So I'm not saying it's over just yet. We may have one of them wild late race cautions, but he can just hit his marks. He's got a good shot at winning this race.
Definitely will, as you see Nick Flory take a look to the inside. Charles Darling not quite out of this one. Hang on to it, Cookie. Braden Cook sideways, Hahn up to 5th. As Andrew Payne leads it. Charles Darling, though, keeping him honest. Up here as we're going to have 11 laps to go, this time off of turn number 4.
Well, I'll tell you what, the 49 of Cook, he was plumb sideways coming off of turn 4. Way to hold on to that race car. That's pretty impressive driving by him. He's giving her all she's got, and he hung that thing out to dry.
Definitely did. Now we watch that battle side by side for Flory and Cook. This time off the corner, double high fives. 10 laps to go for Andrew Payne.
He's really set sail now. He's hitting his marks. His spotter, his crew telling me don't look in the rearview mirror. Just drive straight out the front of that car. Don't worry what's behind you. Run 10 qualifying laps right here, and let's go bring this thing home, and let's take a checker flag and do some donuts for these fans.
Now the 8 at DeWisto going on the attack underneath the 88 of Darling, trying to get that second position away from him. Can't quite do it that time off the corner.
And here comes DeWeese right here on the bottom, Al. He's saying, hey, don't count me out just yet. I'm coming.
Yeah, Braxton DeWeese maybe just kind of backed off, saved a little bit of those Hoosier Racing tires, and now working the bottom side of the racetrack. DeWeese sole possession of second. I'm just kidding. Now does, as the 88 of Darling kisses that Armco barrier off of turn number 4. 8 to go.
Yeah, I mean, DeWeese was just trying to make a move. I don't think that was his fault. He's, the 88 of Darling just pushed a little tight and hit the wall. I think DeWeese trying to make a move, but it wasn't his fault. It's just racing, good, clean, good, hard racing right here, late stage in the race. And now DeWeese, could he go back-to-back out?
It is possible. What a way to end the season would be to go back-to-back, and he really takes a swing at him that time off of turn number 2. Braxton DeWeese digging down low, trying to knock the Chevrolet out of victory lane with 6 to go off of turn number 4.
I'll tell you what, he was saving his stuff late, and I think the 88 of Darling just kissed the end. But if it stays green out, we may have that side-by-side battle you're talking about at Bristol. It may be right here at Iowa Speedway.
If you look out the back side of the 93, he kisses the outside wall. Here comes DeWeese once again down to the inside of Andrew Payne, and Payne's car starting to get a little bit free. Side-by-side off of turn number 4.
Look at this as they race down into turn 1. What is DeWeese going to do? He's going to set him up. He's going to run a little high. Yeah, here we go. Payne, he's not really getting a good run like he used to coming off the high side. Here comes DeWeese. I think he's going to make a move right here, Al.
DeWeese going to take a look down to the inside. Payne up to the outside off the corner. DeWeese with a nose out front this time. 4 to go at the stripe to end here at the Sunoco Invitational Series for ASRC. The good barn burner here at the Iowa Speedway is the 93 up the racetrack. Here comes DeWeese right to the left rear quarter panel.
Oh, and Andrew Payne hit the wall. He hit the safer barrier, and it got him a little loose. DeWeese going to try to make a move right here. Is he going to push up? Oh, and Payne hit the wall. DeWeese to the front. Look at this racing.
Crowd going wild here at the Iowa Speedway. Now Payne underneath on the attack once again to the inside. DeWeese slams the door shut off of turn number 2 and down the back stretch. 3 car length advantage for the number 8. Payne throws it in deep in the turn number 3.
I mean, I tell you, DeWeese, his crew chief must have been watching the broadcast. He's probably saying, Al and Dobbs, you bunch of clowns, we got something to prove. And this 8 car just muscled his way to the front. Payne trying to work his way back up, but I think that 8 car hit the NOS button and he is checking out.
He is definitely checking out here as the 8 car opening up over a second over Andrew Payne. as the white silk will fly. The final lap of the 2023-24 season is underway.
What a way to end the season, back-to-back. If he can bring it home halfway, half track left to go. Braxton DeWeese, I mean, he come from shotgun to the field to turn number 3. Al, bring her on home, baby.
Off of turn number 4, the Interstate Ford. Driver number 8, Braxton DeWeese, back-to-back to end the season. Andrew Payne will come home second. Coyer will finish third. Fleury and Brett Hahn rounding out your top 5. Braden Cook 6th. Devin McDonald. Chuck Darling in 8th. Eric Hahn, John DeMeester, and the number 45 of Andrew Hardings there as we look at the number 8 down the backstretch. We will wait for official word on our champion here for the 2023-24 season, but we know that Braxton DeWeese picking up the Iowa Championship race here this evening. And how about that? As he was closing in, we had that yellow flag back on lap 40, and he is going to burn it down here on the front stretch. Braxton DeWeese, your winner of the Iowa 100.
Man, what a good race, Al. That was awesome racing right there. Saved his stuff, picked up a huge dub back-to-back. Wow, that's a good driver.
I believe the 71 of Brett Hahn will be unofficially the champion. We'll wait on the points calculation to happen with that. And as we do that, let's start our Sunoco post-race show as we'll head down here to Victory Lane talking to our race winner, the number 8 of Braxton DeWeese. We'll see if there he is. We got him here. As we are down here in the Sunoco Victory Lane with the number 8 of Braxton DeWeese. And Braxton, man, where did that come from? He got shuffled back to 3rd, and then you just shot out of a cannon here to end up here with back-to-back wins to end the season.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of pulled that out of my rear end there at the end. I seen them two coming there, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to let them by. And, we had about maybe 30 to 25 laps left, and I was just like, I'm going to let them go. Maybe I can, pass them and, have a shot potentially, So I let that happen. I kind of rode around, followed them, kind of seen what they were doing, kind of tried to, change a little bit what I was doing to drive it off the right rear more to try to keep it loose. I felt like that was, a pretty big deal, was to try to drive it off the right rear a little bit more to keep it loose. If you didn't, I felt like you were going to get tight personally. It's kind of just an assumption, but I think that's what would happen. So I kind of just tried to drive off the right rear as much as I could with not going overboard, and kind of just, tried the bottom lane just to see, because I know passing on the high side was probably going to, be good to get the momentum, but they were pretty much, you couldn't go any higher without being in the marbles or touching the wall where they were running. So I figured I'd run low and try to see if I could make any time up there, and I kind of did. I'd get a little bit closer, and they'd obviously get the run, but I'd still inch up a little bit just from going down there and having the momentum and still having the turn from the right front. So but worked out a little bit and kind of tried to throw some sliders a little bit. I didn't want to be, too aggressive and, come up too quick. And they both got into the wall. I right after that happened, I can't remember who was in second, but I said, I don't know if that was on me. I know we didn't make contact, but if I pushed you up, then I'm sorry. I didn't want that to happen. And he said that it was all on him. So I'm glad that wasn't on me. Unfortunate that he hit the wall there, but we were able to capitalize and go on to Andrew and ultimately pretty much do the same thing. So I'm pretty happy with it to get 2 in a row.
Well, congratulations, Braxton. You're going to end the season, and we hope to see this number 8 car full-time in the summer series starting in March. We hope to see that number 8 car on racetrack for the full series, if not maybe some hit-and-miss races.
Yeah, for sure. I was actually planning on another league on Wednesdays like a month ago and whatnot, and I've been running this just for the time being, but I think I might run this instead and go full-time. I enjoy this. There's a lot of green flag running and a lot of good battles, so I enjoy that. I haven't really, had much of that in the past couple of years, and it's been kind of frustrating for me, and it hadn't, been good for me racing-wise. So I think this is, a good step. I've I've joined multiple leagues that are like this, so you know, I'm looking forward to this and, you know, all the other ones. So yeah, we'll probably go full-time next year, and for next season, I should say, and see if we can replicate what we've done here the past 2 races, and honestly the races that I've been here so far. So we'll see what we can do.
Well, we know you got some people to thank here to make this all possible.
Yeah, for sure. Interstate Ford on the car. We'll probably keep the same paint scheme and just change the banner and contingent cheese for the upcoming season. I like this car. I think I'm going to keep it for just my base super late model stock type paint scheme for a good little bit. So you'll probably see this paint scheme again with the same sponsor on board and whatnot. So probably won't be too different. Maybe a couple additions of some other logos. But big shout out to them. I also want to give a shout out to Bennett's Publical, James on Main, Allen's Arts Images, Booth 34 Diecast, Unrivaled Cinematography, Blaze Designs, and Bully Dog Coffee Company. They just came on board. They were in a chat on a Sunday league, and they're going on board full time with another guy, and they're coming on with just as an associate, and they're going to have a code and whatnot. But once I get that, we'll be able to tell everybody what the code is, and they can go get you some coffee. So I appreciate everybody that tunes in and supports me, and everybody that doesn't support me and just tunes in general. It's nice to have people that, you know, watch. It also makes it good for you guys that are broadcasting. I bet it makes it feel good that are, you know, people are watching and stuff, and it makes you get into it a little bit more. So, you know, we appreciate that, and it just makes this all just a better experience. So thanks again.
Congratulations, Braxton. We look forward to seeing you in the summer series here coming up here very shortly. Until then, buddy, we hope you have some success racing elsewhere, and we'll see you then.
Yes, sir. You got it.
There you go. Tonight's feature event winner, the number 8 of Braxton Deweese. And I believe, Dobbs, you have caught up with your second place finisher of Andrew Payne.
Yes, sir. I've got him down here. Andrew Payne, man. Thought you had this race in the bag, buddy. Tell us what happened late stages in the race. A little disappointed.
Oh yeah, I threw that one away, honestly. I pushed a little bit too hard, let the guys sort of dictate my pace behind me, and Braxton got to my inside off of 2, and I think I would have cleared him going into 3, but I tagged the wall, just ever so slightly, tagged the wall with the right rear corner, and upset the car going into 3, and I overdid it going through 3 and 4, and got the wall even harder out of a 4, and from there it was over. I might have had a shot had that not happened, but you know, it just a bit unfortunate. You know, I can't really blame anyone but myself for that. But you know, I haven't really run these cars a whole lot this season. Tonight was actually sort of not initially planned. I had some of my plans changed, so I came in here last minute and was able to run. So with not really very many laps tonight, a second place is nothing to complain about at the end of the day. But man, I really did want one before the end of the season, and you know, just gotta live and learn, and I'll take this race and try to learn from it.
Yeah, Al and myself, we thought about 10 to go. We pretty much thought you were going to be throwing the champagne down, and you know, you had a different line all night long, other than all the drivers. You had that Kyle Larson line, as our colleague Roger Muth likes to say all the time. You had that line down pat, and that old car was really fast coming off the corner. I was super impressed with that. How was it holding that thing up there? Could you hold it wide open, or that lift at all?
We were definitely lifting going into both ends, especially with the extra momentum from the high side. We official ran here about a month or so ago, a month and a half ago, with the Xfinity cars, and towards the end of those tire cycles, we were actually running about the same line, and I sort of figured that these cars would be able to handle it up there, especially with this new dynamic track model that we have in the sim. And I do think at one point in time that line did get a little bit too hot, and it was upsetting the car, but it works. You know, it heats up the right rear a little more than it needs to, but when you get that extra couple feet of on throttle time going into the corner and off the corner, it's going to pick up time overall. And it was on rails there until about 10 or 15 to go, and then it was really starting to get tight there, especially in 3 and 4. 1 and 2 is a little more manageable, and the unfortunate part about running that high line is you can't really easily go back to the low line, which made it tough. I couldn't really defend. I know defending on the bottom 2 was probably not a smart play either, because if Braxton had gotten to my high side, it would have been the same deal. So But yeah, I sort of put myself in a box there, starting to run that high line, even though it was fast. And man, it was fun to run up there though. It is tough, and it bit me one time and did me in.
Well, you did a heck of a job all night long, man, and I was real impressed with watching you race that high line and driving away like you did. But you got a good-looking race car. Who you like to thank on this hot rod? Beautiful-looking race car. I like the look of this 93 car.
Well, first and foremost, huge shout out to you, Jason and Al, for putting this on and Turn 3. I didn't really make a whole lot of races this year, but I tried to tune into the broadcasts either live or under replay when I could. Looking forward to going back and watching this one tonight. Huge shout out to Tanner for putting on the league, putting on the series. It's been a blast for the starts I have been able to make, and hopefully I'll be able to make a few more starts next season. Huge shout out to Sunoco for coming on board for the season as our title sponsor. Really appreciate them supporting our league. Huge shout out to Team Conti Sim Performance, Quick Time Motorsports Media, and Tanner Tallarico for the paint scheme. I've been repping it on all my cars recently, and happy to match the speed with the great paint scheme. Shout out to all the fellow competitors out there for getting some really good runs tonight. It was a blast. Huge shout out to parents, grandparents for supporting me in all my forms of racing. And last but certainly not least, huge shout out to all the fans that come out and support the league, the broadcast, the drivers, all of us. Without you guys, we probably wouldn't be here.
All right, man, that sounds good. Congratulations on that second place finish. And Al, take it away, old buddy, to that third place, Mr. Coyer.
Yeah, we're down here with Zach Coyer in this number 13 car. And Mr. Zach taking a sip of his ice-cold beer as he's accustomed to. And you're going to come away with that third-place finish, mister, but a little bit of, I think, some cleaning moments there happened in front of you a little bit early on in this race.
Yeah, definitely a hard-fought race, to say the least, but had a couple mistakes happen, which I thought that was my fault getting into Devon. I want to apologize about that, but that was just definitely a hard-fought race tonight.
Talk about how much this track is one of my favorite tracks with the super late models, just based on the raceability of the racetrack. We saw not just 2 lanes, but 3-4 lanes of racing. We saw Andrew Payne working the extreme high side lane. We saw you working up there. We saw you in the middle, down low. Just talk about the raceability of this racetrack.
Well, it's definitely fun because, like you said, there's several different lines, but I was testing whatever I could there at the end to catch. I would run it up high and cut off a couple, and then I would run it down low there at the end to see what I could do, but definitely a bunch of different lines, and tried to follow a couple other people. It didn't fit my style, but it got me here, so that's all I'm thankful for.
Well, you're going to come home with that third place finish, a little bit of nice momentum headed into the off season. We know the summer series coming up in March. We know summertime gets a little bit busy with you with the real race in the area that you are. Will we see it during the summer series?
Yeah, I'll like I said, this is a great group of guys, and it's definitely fun to be here. And my local buddy, he's kind of retired, so I'm dedicating it all to sim life. But like I said, it's definitely fun to race with these guys, and I look forward to next season, see if I could put it back up in the championship booth.
Well, you're gonna come home this season with a top 5 finish in the points, depending on how everything shakes out once the points get updated. So good overall season here, and a lot of good stuff you can build on going on to the next season. But we know you got some people behind the scenes that make it all possible.
Yeah, I want to thank Matt Vade, Paint Schemes, for this awesome scheme, week in and week out. Everything he does for my cars always comes from him, makes it look beautiful. I want to thank Sunoco. I want to thank everybody who hopped on board this season to make it possible, with you guys and Boardwalk Subs and the rest of them, and all these guys for coming in week in and week out and making it a fight, that's for sure.
Well, congratulations, Zach. It's always a pleasure to talk to you at the end of these ones, and hopefully we get to do that a little bit more next season.
Yes, sir. Hope to hear your voice a whole lot more and share a couple more beers.
Yeah, the boy. We'll stop by the trailer on the way out. That's for sure.
Sounds good. We'll be partying.
There you go. That's Zach Coyer, tonight's third place finisher here this evening. Now it's time to unofficially crown, I believe, the 2023-2024 champion of the ASRC Super Late Model Invitational, and that will be the number 71 of Brett the Jet Hahn.
How we doing tonight, boys?
How are you, sir?
We are good. Excited that we walked away with the championship, but firing the crew chief here tonight. Didn't take any tires on that pit stop, and the right rear was killed. We're down to 6% on the right rear.
Here you go. Dobbs owes me his paycheck now. We took a bet on whether you took tires or not. He said you did. I said you didn't.
Yep, no tires was the call, hoping for a late race yellow. You know, this thing got so loose and built loose over time in the run. Crew chief was gambling that someone was going to spin, bring out the yellow, but it never came. Luckily, was able to hang with the pack somehow on those old tires.
Yeah, you did a good job there with those old tires, managing those. Going to come home with that 5th place finish. Going to come home with that championship in a gas card to Sunoco for this virtual race car of yours, and hopefully that'll fill you up for the summertime series coming up here. But overall, a great season for you, Brett. Just taking a look at some of the stats here. 3 wins this season, your average start of 2nd, and your average finish of 4th. Coming in here to this afternoon's Iowa 100, and in this racetrack, not disappointing once again, as we know what kind of racing that the Iowa Speedway can provide, and it did not disappoint the fans that were sold out here and the ones watching at home from their sofa.
Yeah, I tell you what, Iowa's always a great track. As you saw tonight, the multi-lane racing is always amazing here, and this is always one of the tracks I circle when it comes to the calendar. Here, Richmond, Rockingham, especially in the super late models, that's where the 71 really can turn on the afterburners.
Well, congratulations on the championship. Let's talk about the season. Any races that stick out in your mind that was really the pivotal or the turning point for this championship to come home?
You know, Al, a lot was strung together this season, I tell you what, to make this happen. But overall, I think the big one was getting those back-to-back wins at 5 Flags and then doubling down the next week, going from the back to the front at Bristol. I think that really put the big swing in my momentum for the season and really set me apart in the points, let's say.
Well, you did a good job here in picking up this championship in a hard-fought battle with yourself and Nick Fleury right down here to the bitter end, and you guys were battling it on the racetrack here. How much of that was playing in your mind that your championship contestant there was breathing down your tailpipes most of this race?
Yeah, by that point, with about 10 to go, Al, I could barely get in the corners. This thing was so loose with that right rear down so low. Anytime I put any wheel in this car, it would try and walk around on me. So I had zero drive off. I knew he was probably going to get around. I was amazed he burned off his tires that much after taking them. I was pretty surprised by that because Nick's they're pretty good shoes, so that kind of surprised me. But when he started catching me, I said, oh, yeah, this race for then it was up to 4th is pretty much over.
Yeah, you did what you needed to do. You're going to come out here. You let him win the battle, you're going to win the war this season. But next season, the Summer Series is going to be a great one. We're going to kick it off in March at Richmond. We hope to see this QuickTime Media number 71 be a part of that Summer Series.
Yeah, it will be out. Going to try and defend another super late model title. I think this is my 3rd now super late model title. So hopefully going to go for a 4th. It's going to be a long season. I believe it's around 17 weeks. So excited for a long one, as I try and always do, get that consistency early. And then from there on out, make everyone else have to work that little bit harder to try and dethrone me.
Absolutely, Brett. Well, congratulations, buddy, on this championship. We know you didn't do it by yourself. Who you got to thank here one last time for this 2023-2024 Sunoco Invitational Super Late Model Championship?
Yeah, of course, got started here in the booth. You, Al, for all season doing a great job. Jason, thanks for coming on the last couple weeks here. It's always a good time having you in the booth, listen to your calls. Of course, with the series, got to thank LaPlante Racing Products Sunoco Race Fuels. They do an awesome job. We got to thank them big time for coming on board, sponsoring this series. If you got to fill up your car, be sure to stop at your local Sunoco. And then, of course, we go to On the Car. We got QuickTime Motorsports Media. Tanner always does an awesome job wrapping a car. And I like to say that wrap's at least worth half a tenth, no matter where you go to. Also on the car, we got RHU Racing, the teammates. Nick Fleury, Dave Payton will be back. Always a great time racing against those boys. RogersCars.com. We do have LaPlante on the back as well. And, yeah, boys, I think that about does it. Of course, everyone watching at home, all the Brett the Jet fans, I think, got the Grandma Grammy watching, girlfriend Jesse. And, of course, we got to thank the old man. I believe top 10 in points for the first time for him, so pretty pumped up about that as well.
Yeah, a lot of improvement out of Pops there this season. Faster each and every week, and we look forward to seeing what he can do in the upcoming season. But, Brett, go enjoy this one. I heard that there's a party at Coyer's Trailer, so I think that's where you probably should head.
I think so, and then the after party at mine. We're partying all night. It ain't stopping. Woo!
There you hear it, Brett the Jet picking up his third championship in the Super Late Models, and that will about do it here for us tonight. Jason, taking just final thoughts here this afternoon as everything kind of comes down to a close for this season. Brett Hahn picking up the win. Nick Fleury will come home second in that championship standings in what was a hard-fought battle all winter long.
I'll tell you what, Al, I was real excited I got to come up here in the booth and go to these racetracks. I wish I could have went to more of them, and we couldn't work out a deal. Had a little business stuff going on my side, and then we finally got our deal worked out together where we could do this, call these races together. But I tell you what, Al, Brett the Jet reminds me of Clint Boyer, and there's going to be a party somewhere at his house, and it may get a little wild. And I tell you, it was good racing tonight. These cars was really hooked up, and I liked watching Andrew Payne run that high line, running that Kyle Larson line. But old Braxton DeWeese, you can't take nothing away from that young man. That dude can wheel a race car. All these guys are good race car drivers, and I hope that next season maybe we can join it again and watch them live up here in the booth again. Now I've had a blast.
Well, we'll have to work out those details, Dobbs, and we'll figure that part out, I'm sure. But it's been a pleasure over this last month of having you in the booth with us, and got some good feedback on that. And it's always been a pleasure, buddy, hanging out with you and calling these races and just different perspectives, and it makes it a little bit more fun for myself as well to have a little of a partner in crime up here in the booth. Though you keep eating my sub, I just don't understand. I know they're good. But can you leave mine alone?
Sorry, Al. I got a long trip back to Tennessee, and those Tallarico subs, Boardwalk subs are amazing. And I'm gonna stop right here and get some Sunoco fuel and put in that EcoBoost Mustang, and I'm gonna head back to Tennessee. And I got to be back at work in the morning now, throw some ice, so it's going to be a long drive back home.
Yeah, it definitely will be, but we appreciate you there here. And one last time, we got the American Sim Racing Club Super Late Model Invitational presented by Hometown Sunoco. Tallarico's Boardwalk Subs, Jersey Salad Soup, Subs, and Salads serving West Michigan. Premier Racing Setups. They are the setups that are underneath these race cars each and every week to put on such a great show. You got to get yourself a Premier Racing setup and find yourself in Victory Lane. And LaPlante Racing Products, Triple Crown Series sponsor here this season. Well, that will do it for the Winter Series. We look forward to seeing you March 13th as we kick off the 2024 Summer Series right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. For Jason Dobbs, my name is Upstate Al, and we will see you next time in Turn number 3. Good night, everybody.